Hi everyone, it's Eileen from Plus Size to Plant Based. So, something interesting that came across my radar, I guess it would be, was a very important Bible verse that I had never heard or wasn't familiar with until going plant based and vegan. And I'm sure there's multiple verses that can combat each other on this topic in the Bible. But why it's important for people to hear this verse is this is Genesis. This is in the start, whether it's the Jewish faith or the Christian Bible that includes Genesis. Genesis is accepted as the Old Testament, obviously, the very beginning of the Word. And I couldn't believe it when I found this in my research and everything. So I wanted to share with you. I have it actually on my phone ready to go. It is Genesis 1:29 through 30. Behold, I have given you every herb-bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat, and to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for meat. So, again, Genesis 1:29 through 30, and depending on your Bible, it has like slightly different wording. It says like some say I've given every green plant for food. Same thing though. So, and then I think shortly after it says, and it was good. So, in other words, before the fall of man, it was a vegan world. Well, hence the Garden of Eden. I mean, I know it sounds simple, but this was mind-blowing to me because, yes, there it is, right there, right in the beginning, that this was a vegan world and we weren't to eat God's creations like that, though plants are God's creations. I'm not saying they are not. Absolutely they are, and I love plants. But it was stated when things were good, I've given you every green plant for food. I mean, it doesn't get much clearer than that. So I think when you view it from that perspective, once the fall happened, and I know there's some quotes about when the flood happened, the vegetation was killed off, and in certain areas, people were given permission to eat the meat. There's also verses talking about meat being gluttonous, so it's not the choice, the first choice, but if you would like to partake in it, it's like gluttonous. And there were so many things throughout the Bible that were just like so I'm not really one to spout out Bible verses to defend a cause or anything like that. I just thought it was important for people to hear that, if in case they hadn't already. I pause because there's really not much to say on it. It's there, and it's like, okay, I think the utopia that this world will become will all be headed back to that type of diet. Now, interestingly enough, I think it's called The Garden of Vegan, and it's on YouTube, basically showing the rise of a vegan lifestyle in Israel. And they show a whole bunch of verses. I think that one was in there as well, but that's not where I first found it. But that's one that I definitely recommend. Here's a whole nation, especially Tel Aviv, everywhere the restaurants have little stickers on them that say vegan friendly. It's really grabbed a hold of the culture. And I think, that's maybe a small indication of what can be. Here, if this becomes, like if Israel becomes the first entire, vegan nation, Others will follow. And it's really, really fascinating that there it was in the Bible. So if somebody goes to the Bible to defend their views or things like that, there it is right in the beginning, if that is helpful for you. For me personally, it's just validation of what I already was feeling, because peace begins at the dinner table. And that's the quote that I keep hearing, and it's so true. I mean, if you're putting in your body something that was screaming and didn't want to die, that's not peaceful. So these changes, and it was good, I keep thinking about that because these changes are good. We become healthier for it. And if that's how the Garden of Eden was intended to be, let's bring it back. Thanks, everyone. If you like this video, please like. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.